The G1. So 32 men announced for tournament. This will run July 15th through August the 13th, and a lot of turnover with 10 first-time participants and multiple names that are not coming back from last year. So here is the full list in the G1. We have Okada, Naito, Sonata, Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, David Finlay, Shota Umino, Shingo Takagi, Tomohiro Ishii, Tama Tonga, Tanga Loa, Hikuleo, Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, Toru Yano, Kenta, Zack Sabre Jr., Taichi, Eddie Kingston, the lone AEW representative, El Phantasmo, Ren Narita, Evil, Chase Owens, Jeff Cobb, Great O'Khan, Aaron Hanare, Gabriel Kidd, Alex Coughlin, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, Yota Tsuji, and representing Pro Wrestling Noah, Kaito Kiyomiya. And obviously, as the outsiders, the biggest reactions were reserved for Eddie Kingston and Kaito Kiyomiya. I would say from the AEW perspective, I think New Japan should be happy they're getting Eddie Kingston, because with the launch of Collision, I certainly looked like it would be a small number of AEW representation to be available for a month when you have 4 hours of big cable television to produce every week. So the fact that they're getting Kingston is great. And I think that, it seemed like online that seemed to be the most excitement. But I think it's great that Kiyomiya is in this tournament, and it would seem like a natural that he's in Okada's block, or at least that is teased. And whether he goes the time limit with, I don't think he should beat Okada yet, but it should be a progression from the wipeout that he had earlier this year. And to me, that's one of the most compelling stories in this whole G1.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, like the G1 at this point, like fully out of the pandemic, like knowing what the best of the Super Juniors lineup was, I had at least some expectation for, people coming in from other promotions, and you only really have two outsiders, but they're two big outsiders that are coming in, like enough to elicit big reactions just even independently. And when you couple the two of them together, it was enough to make me look at this G1 lineup as like something to be excited about. And I think for Eddie Kingston, it must be a bit of a dream come true. You have to think, for somebody who's as big of a Japanese wrestling fan as he is, to finally get to participate in a G1. It's interesting that maybe Tony kind of considers him, I don't want to say expendable, because this is, I think, really good for Kingston. He probably wanted to do it himself, but he's not a Danielson, and I guess he's not a Moxley that you could, maybe not, like, you don't need him necessarily for every week on TV. So, but man, in the G1, it's very exciting, and like you said, Kiyomiya gets to continue his next chapter in this Okada program while continuing to really kind of fly the flag of Noah, and hopefully impressing a lot of people in the process.
So among those who are in their first G1, it includes Umino, Hikuleo, Eddie Kingston, Ren Narita, Gabriel Kidd, Alex Coughlin, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, Yota Tsuji, and Kiyomiya. Those not coming back from last year. Most of these are a result of guys signing elsewhere. In the case of Jonah, aka Bronson Reed, Jay White and Juice Robinson. Bad Luck Fale is not in the tournament, and watching him last year, I cannot say I'm stunned by that one. He had a rough go of things last year in the G1, and I just don't know how he would have necessarily held up. A year older, and I don't think that was a bad call. But man, I got messages from more than one person who reminded me, hey, did you notice no Yujiro? And I said, yes, I absolutely noticed no Yujiro. The ones that maybe are surprising, Lance Archer not coming back, and maybe that would suggest that now he is healed and perhaps he is going to be prioritized in AEW coming back. I would say my biggest surprise was not seeing Tom Lawler come back. And I thought he had a very good tournament last year. And that was from we saw all sides of Tom Lawler in that tournament. Like, he did the comedy stuff. He did the very serious stuff when they built up to the Okada match. He gave that really heartfelt promo. We got to hear him on commentary as well. And, he hasn't been used in Japan a lot over this last year. I don't think he's been brought back by New Japan for any Japanese shows. He's been on the strong cards. He had that great match with Zach a few weeks ago in April I think it was the Washington show. But yeah, he would have been the only one that I was surprised did not get called back. But maybe not as surprised, just given that they haven't brought him back for any big shows. But I thought he had a very good outing last year.
Yeah, maybe I would have expected him to sort of like be the representative from, you know, the New Japan Strong side of things here. But I mean, I guess they only have so many spots, and they have a lot of people,
And they're on a
especially.
youth kick. Like they are on,
Yep.
like we have invested in all of these younger talents to go across the world and to
Hmm.
be away for all these years. And now they're all coming back and we're giving them all pushes to
Yeah.
varying degrees, like in big, and it'll be interesting to see like who are like, none of these guys are going to be all like, you know, 0-9, 0-10 guys. Like these are going to
Mhm.
be, some of them are going to get some significant runs in this tournament. And yeah, it does feel like there is a young guard, and I like the fact that you change it up, and you know, to get 10 new names in the tournament. Yeah, it'll be. I'm very excited for this tournament.
Yeah, freshness I think is, you know, really one of the main aims of, you know, New Japan this year, and they've certainly achieved that with a lot of their booking decisions.